to our third and final topic. What makes it a good story game? We've kind of touched on this with the GTA stuff. We've kind of talked about this with our last topic or our first topic, but I guess the last topic kind of rounds it all in. Why do we like story games so much? This panel specifically, because we all do. So, who wants to start?
I say you start because we both started.
I feel like I've been talking. feel like I've been talking a lot. The reason why I like stories in my game is, I guess, because of my film kind of what do they used to say? My cinephile type of mentality of I love movies. So, and some people don't think games tell good stories.
Bullshit.
I think that and I sort of agree and I sort of disagree. I think it's kind of the same thing of why people will consider video games art and some people don't consider them art. And we talked about that in a PT3600 episode about art. So stay tuned for that because it's awesome. But I think it's a yes or no situation of can a game tell a good story? I think it can. And a lot of people go, well, if a game tells a good story, then the mechanics aren't good. Kinda, maybe in some ways, but when I play The Walking Dead, I can agree to that statement because there isn't much gameplay going on in The Walking Dead, in Telltale's The Walking Dead. God of War. That's a good example for both.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
I think that, but they're very far and few between for the both situation.
That is true also.
So with games like The Walking Dead, the story is so crazy for even that first season, and then you're so emotionally attached to Clementine and Lee that at the very end it's just devastating. So I think that a good story can happen, because that game legitimately made me get teared up. I didn't cry, I just teared up a little bit because it was just a moment. But it's like, if a game can do that to you and drive an emotional response, I think that it just conquers this whole, thing that you just never thought could happen from a video game. Like, who would have thought that when you're playing in an arcade and you're playing Pac-Man, that for somewhere down the road, 30 years later, there's going to be games that have emotional takes on things. I guess Celeste has some of that, right? I don't know if you guys played Celeste.
No, I haven't played it.
But there are games that do drive some emotional responses to it, like The Last of Us, but even then, some people even consider that as the game mechanically isn't great, but the story is amazing.
Right.
So I don't know. That's kind of where I sit at it. What about you guys? Go ahead, Nate.
Oh, I was gonna say I just finished Detroit. I guess it's another game that's not the best example of the best gameplay.
Yeah.
With the story, but that had an excellent story in it. Great characters. It just gives you motivation to keep playing the game.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah. There's that taste of oh, there's more to this.
Right.
There's more of this consuming thing.
That's why I usually don't play the Forza games, even though I'm playing it now because the Game Pass was $2.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
But games like Forza, they don't really have a story motivation to keep playing.
Yeah, there is this sense of progression though that Forza 3 really does.
Which I'm just now finding out.
Yeah, where it's oh, you can build your festival and then continue building your festival.
Right.
And so because of that,
and the progression's kind of in your car.
yeah,
too.
and so that's the thing is I guess that would be the answer to more of gameplay is over the story. There is a story, but that's literally 10% of this 90% of an awesome game.
Right.
So because I absolutely love the Horizon series, and the only reason why I didn't play Horizon 4 is because there's so many games that happen at the end of the year. But yeah, that would definitely be more towards the fighting of mechanics over story. And so yeah, I don't know. What about you, Tyler? What do you think?
Kind of piggyback off what you said. I agree with you, but I'm our video games are. I want to break it down even more generally.
Yeah,
they're all media, books, movies, video games. They're all a source of media. So why can't they have a story or something like that? And who was it at last E3 that was people don't want story-based games. They just want multiplayer. Is that someone from EA?
Must have been. Sounds like something they would say.
I feel like, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, was it for Call of... No, it's not. That's Activision. I feel like it kind of came out of the Call of Duty because people were like, "Why are you taking out the story?"
Oh yeah, Black Ops
Because
did
nobody
take
played
out
it.
story. Yeah.
So like, and then the piggyback off what you said of it's a give or take, or it's either one or the other. Good story, not that good mechanics, or good mechanics, not that good of a story. I just say you don't have the right people working on it. Because look at Spider-Man, great mechanics, great story. God of War,
Basically all the Sony games.
yeah,
Well, also like
Horizon.
the Mass Effect games were great. I mean, I didn't play Andromeda, but like 1, 2, and 3, I felt I don't know why people. I know. Okay, I did play them years after 3 came out. So when I played them all, I played 1, 2, and 3 back to back to back. That's how I played Mass Effect. So this is where I'm coming from. So don't shoot me down in comments because I'm saying this. But I thought the progression of the story was great all the way through. 1 was a bit more gamey than the second one is. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Reverse that. 1 is a lot more story, and you can really get into it, but it's a little slower. 2 is definitely probably the strongest one of them all.
Yeah.
And then 3, it gets into more of like, oh yeah, here's all of what you've done so far, and it all comes down into this game.
That's what people didn't like, because I think everything boils down to like 3.
Pretty
endings.
much, yeah. But I'm like, what did you want? It's a decision-based game. Like, it has to come
yeah,
to
yeah,
an
yeah.
end at one of these 3 doors. That's what's gonna happen.
and that's why kind of like what you were saying like Persona has it like the visual novel kind of aspect.
Yeah, sure.
There's literally no gameplay
Yeah,
in
yeah.
visual novels, but it's all choices. It's a digital book.
No, yeah, yeah.
But
I mean,
I like that
yeah.
Persona takes all the good like RPG, dating sim, all that good stuff, and I'm having a blast with it. And even like let's go older, like the Halo trilogy.
Sure.
I want to say great, but it's a good story. It's a
1, 2, and 3 are good.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then four was the last decent one.
I feel like 4 is the most.
Reach had a great
narratively-
story. Reach was dope.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Reach
yeah.
was amazing. But even like the
Didn't
origin-
like the multiplayer in Reach.
even
though.
the original Gears trilogy, like it's a musclehead
No,
game.
and that's the thing is like I
But
never would have
but
thought.
Gears 3.
I never would have thought in Gears 3. I guess we won't really spoil it, but because just in case. But like in Gears 3, I never. No, we did spoil it on Bitcade. But anyway, I never thought that a game like that would make me have an emotional response to that. That was another game I teared up a little bit.
So you got
So-
the first one. They didn't need to make a sequel. The first one ended.
Yeah.
It ended well.
Yo, yeah, it ends
And then
and
they-
ends.
I feel like as a story, like the narrative standpoint, the second one is the weakest. Because to me, I need to go back and play it. But from what I remember, it's like, oh, you're here, do this, do that. One was like, it's going.
No, I would definitely say
Three
in my,
was
my
the most
opinion, one would
solid.
be the best.
Oh my god, 3 was
But 3 is pretty
amazing.
I don't know. I didn't like the monsters in 3.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely. Well, I didn't really like the monsters in 4, to be perfectly.
Oh
honest.
yeah.
You know, like the little cogs or whatever they were, the robots.
Oh,
the DBs, that's 4.
DBs, yeah,
That's 4.
That's 4.
Yeah.
Well,
Is that what
no,
you said? You didn't like the enemies in 4?
I didn't really like the robotic stuff
Okay.
in 4 because the projection face thing, and then
Yeah.
the like
I don't like.
what are the crawdad looking dudes, the little like with a big fish tail.
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't like those
Oh,
that
yeah.
much,
Yeah.
but it's it's all right.
But anyway, like
4 is good. I just it's like the Marvel movies. It's like they're all great. It's just one of them has to be the worst.
Oh,
And I
yeah.
would say 4 is probably the weakest.
and for Marvel it'd be Thor Dark World.
But like for what was the? I guess Judgment technically.
For me,
should
Judgment's the
be-
weakest.
Should probably be included in
2 is
that.
actually probably my favorite.
Really?
Two,
Two?
yeah. Well, I think Jameson's is 3. I think
Three
that's what
three
he
is
said.
definitely mine.
I think 3.
I-
I would probably say I don't know. I can't remember. I've played 1 a lot though, so I
remember
guess
the first
based
one
on
being kinda weak
time.
on the story, but
Yeah,
Well,
because
yeah,
it's definitely
well, yeah.
more a mechanic
Yeah.
game. Yeah, because
And then-
again, that goes back to what you were saying before. Is there were meatheads originally?
Yeah.
and then
Tech
eventually
demo.
they got
It was yeah.
pretty much yeah.
Well, you can almost say that. About,
HD.
well, you can almost say that about Halo too.
I don't
Halo-
think Halo has a
At
great
first,
story,
at
really.
first, the first one.
Oh, okay. Combat Evolved.
Yeah,
okay,
the first
all right.
one.
I was gonna say Halo 2.
No. But
Okay.
it did the thing like, well, granted, Marcus is not the silent or protagonist like Chief, but
Sure.
but you're both playing these badass people.
Yeah, big monster guys.
Exactly.
Sure.
And one is basically go destroy Halo, like go objective, destroy it. There's a war, yada yada.
Yeah, it's pretty
They
linear of
didn't
just A to B.
They didn't need to make a second Halo either,
Sure.
but they saw how popular it was, so why not? And
Not
they
always works.
yeah. Well, and then now we're in the age of we need to make a trilogy now, and
Yeah.
oh Jesus Christ.
Well, yeah, no, it's like, well, I think everyone's kind of copying video games in that aspect, and also seeing the success of like, well, people love something and they're going to keep consuming it.
Yeah.
Like what I think I was just listening to Funhouse's podcast about when they were talking about Captain Marvel, and this is the 21st film. Is that right? Have there been 21
I believe
these?
it.
That's so crazy.
Holy shit.
21 sequels to a movie.
And they've all done really well.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
and it's just like when you think about that, you're like, man, I don't even really know anything that has ever done that. And let alone, I mean, there's definitely been like a franchise that may has lasted that long, but like, you know, when you conquer over, because I guess they're not technically sequels, but they kind of are.
And they're all different characters too, which is
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah,
they're
but that's probably why
they're
they've
all,
been able
they're
to
all
keep
the
it
same
alive.
movies in the same universe.
Sure.
The MCU. So they're all, yeah, like you said, they're sequels, but not.
Yeah.
But like,
Like when you look at like Friday the 13th and it's only had 12 movies, and that's like the longest I know that something is
but
gone.
okay, I know we're going off topic, but like, can we just like what Infinity War did for superhero movies? 10 years to build to that.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
And that is my favorite Marvel movie to come out to date. Don't at me, change my mind.
It is the best one.
I have a friend at work that says Winter Soldier. I said fight me.
It's close.
Yeah,
I
no, yeah,
would
it's-
say
that's
Ragnarok,
that's
but
a
that's
great
just
that's a great
Ragnarok.
one. Winter Soldier I think was great.
Ragnarok might be in the top 5.
Yeah, I'm a big.
I like humor. So
Yeah, that's why I like Spider-Man. I'd put Spider-Man Homecoming in the top 5.
Mhm.
I know people don't really like it, but I'm like,
It's definitely
Whatever.
the best one. So.
yeah,
In the MCU.
yeah.
Well, I guess
You mean the best Spider-Man?
live action. I would say it's the best live action.
I need
Because I liked a lot into the Spider-Verse.
Yo,
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
no,
yeah.
That
We're getting too
okay,
far off,
yeah,
but
sorry, yeah.
but
Welcome to the movie podcast.
I'll give you like 10-second blurbs if you want to go into that.
no. I'll just say Spider-Verse is the best Spider movie to come out so
Okay.
far. Anyway,
Back into it.
yeah, back story. So, like I said, if you're in a position you have to sacrifice story or gameplay,
You're probably EA.
yes,
Or
And
Activision.
yes, you need to get better people because like all these examples that we listed off, like even like Last of Us, like you're like it's more story based.
No, it definitely is.
It's
I mean,
still fun.
I think James from Funhouse gives it a lot harder of a time
there's-
than anybody, but he
and-
always says like it's the best movie I ever played.
Yeah, and that comes with that, like you were saying, like playing Pac-Man or like the original Zelda, like Miyamoto based that game of him as a child going out in the forest and just doing stuff.
And then Pokemon was based on the creator of Pokemon liked caterpillars,
Yeah,
and he created ideas
and
of like of
you
that
would
game.
never look at Zelda or Mario, and then like even Metroid had more of a story than both of them, but and now look at them, especially Zelda. Like I know like they did it like at the in the middle, like oh crap, there's a lot of games. We need to fit a timeline,
Yeah,
and they kind of
the
haphazardly.
Zelda timeline. Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't want to get into that, but my point is,
The fact you need a book to decide that is crazy.
but Breath of the Wild, like Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild are the most story-driven Zelda games to come out to date,
I would say that. Yeah, sure.
and Breath of the Wild is my second favorite Zelda game.
That Majora's Mask, you wouldn't say like has story to it?
Oh, okay, yeah, that when they started to do the story narrative is Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
is when Zelda started to have their very fleshed out timeline, or no, sorry, just like a story.
Like
It's
a solid, like
yeah.
we're gonna focus. You guys already know that here's the mechanics of Zelda.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go into
First
more.
one is just go out and adventure. Second one is like the bastard child.
Yeah.
Third-
Well, at least it's not a Sega CD game, or
Yeah.
what is it? The Panasonic.
Oh god,
one?
yeah, it was this
the
CDI.
Yeah, CDI. That's what
But and then Link to the Past is when they kind of started to have a little bit of a story.
Okay.
And then you have you have the Link's Awakening. I think you have a couple more in there. Maybe the Oracle. No. Then I think after the Game Boy one, I think it was Ocarina of Time, and then that's when they're like, "Here's the Zelda format." And
Did Wind Waker have a good one?
yeah,
See, I always have been intrigued to play Wind Waker,
oh dude, Wind Waker's
but
That's
I
the
just
only one I've ever played.
really.
Wind Waker. Dude,
You had a
play
Wii U, or
GameCube?
GameCube.
Dude,
yeah,
Yeah.
because it did come out for a Wii. Yeah.
Dude, the HD remake is so beautiful in that. Oh my god, like
Yeah, I like the art style to it. So,
So, yeah.
but I know a lot of people that don't like that art style either. So.
I remember being a kid and I was like, at first I was like, what?
Yeah,
And then
looks
I
like
played it-
cartoon, man.
Yeah, but he's such a staple. That's such a staple iconic Link now.
Yeah, Toon Link now. I think is
Yeah,
what they call it.
yeah, Toon Link. Yeah,
So, with games like that, I guess it's kind of like, do you consider that this story is such a big? So when a game gets announced, do you look into that a story is going to be a big part of it?
Yes.
Okay.
I guess it depends on what I'm looking at.
If not, I usually don't play it.
Interesting.
For
Interesting.
okay, so like with Zelda, like
I'm gonna be right back. I go blow my nose. So
Okay.
because it started, I'm starting to hear myself. But keep going. Keep going.
for Zelda, it's more of like it's a Nintendo game. Like it's more mechanical. Like you look more at the mechanics.
Right.
And, like this, like you know the story's gonna be there. Mario, you jump around, you save
That
the
definitely looks
princess.
like it has a story.
It's very bare bones.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't play Mario for the story. You play for the tight platforming.
Right, for the gameplay.
And then, then you got Spider-Man, that has everything.
Mhm.
Great Like I like the mechanics for the most part, and an amazing story. Like the
Definitely
story.
by the end, yeah. It's a
Oh
great
God,
story.
yeah, dude, and like all the love and care they put into that game,
Mm-hmm.
and even the DLC is pretty solid.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Like I 100 when I got my PS4, I 100%ed it. I bought it, the DLC 100% in it. Now I'm going back through it on Ultimate mode,
Okay.
New Game Plus.
I hate doing that, but okay.
I
You like the challenge?
oh it's yeah. I hate how they spike difficulty, and they're like, we'll make you a complete piece of paper, and we'll make the enemies like sponges.
Yeah.
And they just take like Spider-Man for me for the most part. Like I need to play it more because I only did like the first. Where am I? I can't remember, but I think I forget where I am in it. But
This is on your new game plus.
yeah, I'm still in the beginning. But from what I noticed, like yeah, they do more damage,
Mm-hmm.
but they still take like this. I could still finish them off in a combo.
Okay.
But what
You
I
just
think
don't
is
want to take a hit.
yeah, but what I think is better about Spider-Man is like you need to focus on your dodging. That's all
Yeah.
Spider-Man's
You
thing.
played Spider-Man, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And like with New
That's
Game
right.
Plus, you
We
have
did.
all your gadgets. So like in a New Game Plus, like in Ultimate, you have all your gadgets, which makes it way more fun. Like you have to focus on shocking people, throwing them to the wall, or
Mhm.
keeping them suspended, or trapping them. It's really fun.
And that's one thing I didn't really have to worry about mastering on normal. You don't
Oh
have to worry
yeah,
about the gadgets so
punch.
much. Yep.
Yeah.
Which I do. My one complaint about that game about mechanics is I wish the combat was a little bit better. Everything is just one button, or
Right.
for strikes.
kinda button
for,
mashing a
for
little bit.
strikes.
Yeah.
Like you have the triangle for the webs and all that, but I like the whole
That's a throwing mechanic.
punching and kicking are two different buttons.
Mm.
Like
So then you really have to combo.
yeah, exactly. And I feel like if they just did that, the combat would be better. Like I like the whole the suits, the powers, and the gadgets you get. I think that's all amazing. But like
And the
as
web
far
slinging.
oh my god,
Yeah, I mean, it definitely leaned more towards like how
Batman.
what do they call it? Well, Batman, God of War, the hack and slash. I think is what they call that genre.
well Bayonetta and Devil May
Bayonetta's
Cry,
probably,
Devil May
yeah.
Cry are the biggest names for that. I almost said
Yeah.
it.
Well, I
would-
think now a lot of people really just because I think Batman got a lot of people into that. Though.
Yeah.
Right.
So now a
It's
lot of people,
addicting.
yeah, a lot of people refer to it as like, oh, is it like Arkham battling? Like when even when Assassin's Creed was already like on their way to doing it,
Yeah, they've been
Batman
doing it
came
for-
around a little bit after that, but people still said like, oh, so the fighting style is turning more into Batman style now? And I'm like, I guess, yeah, sure, because everyone knew what Batman, because everyone played Arkham, so it's
Right.
like there's that sort of feel that it's like, oh, okay, yeah,
The counter
the
system.
reverse, yeah, exactly, the counters and the using the heavy, the using the light, you know.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what they were doing. But yeah, I think that was I think they just were like, here's the bare bones that we want to do, and then we're just gonna build around that. Like, here's the style of gameplay, and then let's just build around that. Because I think that's kind of how Insomniac really works with it, because they all play very nice, but they also play in a way of like, you came over, not in real life, but like just in the sense of like you come over and you see Spider-Man and you're like, oh, I want to play that, and you're like, here you go. You immediately know how to play that game, or
Yeah.
you know how to play Ratchet and Clank, or you know how to play all this other stuff. So it's like, I think that's kind of how Insomniac is also done.
Easy to
'Cause-
pick up.
Yeah,
I kind of like those games where it's easy to pick up and learn, but kind of hard to master.
Right.
sure.
And that's where I think fighting games come in really well. Like I'm playing DOA 6, and I think DOA is a good example of a fighting game that you can come in and button mash and still do decently, but if you want to be real good, combos. And I feel like there's a bigger skill gap in between that and like something like Marvel vs. Capcom, Street Fighter. I think those games are like really hard.
Yeah. So I guess kind of tying it back to
sorry.
the topic. No, I'm going to go on that. Is in games like that you do play though, and this obviously the story is not a big deal. It's
Yeah.
all about
Oh,
the gameplay.
Yeah.
So, but like games like Mortal Kombat have added since then.
Yeah.
Injustice.
DOA 6
Injustice
has a
and-
story, and holy shit, is it a clusterfuck?
Yeah. So it's like
There-
it's not really focused on.
No.
But games like Injustice and Mortal Kombat, I guess that development team has really thrived in is they started adding these storylines to it now.
Well, I
I'm
think-
really curious to see what Mortal Kombat 11 has, but
I think Injustice is it's a good example. It's not because Injustice, they're just taking a comic book story for the most part, aren't they?
yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Well, like-
yeah, Well, are they
I would
more?
say
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Well, because
I, mean, I don't
I
read comic books like that.
yeah.
but-
Oh,
Well,
okay.
yeah. There's an Injustice comic series, isn't there?
Now there is.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not before the game.
Okay, that's right. Okay, then I'll
So-
take that.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, so because like what I saw it at work, I saw these Injustice comics. I'm like,
No,
oh,
they do exist, but I think the first game came out before that.
okay. I kind of want to.
Or in the lead up to the game, I think.
Oh, okay. See, but see, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Oh.
They definitely tied three mediums together. Of
Yeah.
just this like, here's the movies, here's the games, and here's the comics, and then they're gonna kind of like throw them all into one thing for the game. And so yeah, I don't know. I think that it's definitely a different change of pace where a game kind of tries to do both, and I think it's really hard for a game to do both. And if they can do them successfully, then those games live on forever. Like GTA 5, it's like,
Yeah,
here's story, here's the mechanics. It's not hard to play. You can easily pick it up and you can easily know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Plus, here's some more meat to the bone. And or games like GTA 4, because I'll reference that for Nate there.
Thank you.
Red Dead.
Yeah, Red Dead has done it. But games like LA Noire didn't do that. They really focused heavily on the story and didn't really focus a lot of time on the gameplay. The gameplay's not shit. I want it's
But
it's good. Oops, sorry. It's good, but it's not the it's not what a GTA or a Red Dead is. It really just focuses on here's the minimal stuff of like a GTA game would have, but we're going to really more go towards stories and solving cases.
Is there gunplay in it?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's like the one thing.
It's more of a mafia style instead of more of a GTA
That's
style.
the one kind of thing like a GTA 5. Like I wish they kind of improved is kind of the gunplay.
Hmm.
I don't know. Like
You don't like the auto aim?
yes and no.
Yeah.
It's so easy. Like in online when you try to do the wave battles, you're like yep.
Yeah.
But as far as engaging, it's kind of boring.
Sure.
But like, going back to, I want to piggyback off your LA Noire. Well, you're talking about the you put yourself in a detective spot. It's more story based. So like when you're looking at the mocap to see if those perps are lying,
Yeah.
that's part of gameplay.
Sure.
So to say it's lacking,
No.
yes and no.
Yeah.
You're
I
talking
was
about
just
like
saying
the-
more of the
yeah,
devil's
yeah.
advocate style
Yeah.
of,
Okay. Yeah.
of those games would be like they really more rely on either or. And I think GTA 5 definitely hit both, which is, again, like I said, those are the games that live on forever. Whereas LA Noire kind of was a splash in the pan. It was a fantastic game. It's kind of like, to relate for Nate over there, is Quantum Break was fantastic story game, but then it kind of went away because no one's really focusing on the gameplay aspect of it because the gameplay is kind of not great. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's
that's what I
not
remember.
amazing.
Yeah, it's not like
It's not repetitive.
it's a pretty you kind of understand what you're doing.
They tried to do that whole TV show thing.
They did that was
Which is
kind of it was
kinda cool.
interesting. Yeah, it was interesting.
CW budget level
Yeah.
TV series.
But I think it's just more of this like rotating thing of what are the games that everyone remembers and what are the games that die, and it's like
Usually the ones that have both.
yeah, and like Call of Duty has lasted for so long. No, but before that, Call of Duty lasted for so long.
Modern Warfare 4.
Well, even that of
Or
like
Modern
Modern
Warfare.
Warfare, like I would probably say, I mean, even back before then, like Call of Duty 2 had a pretty decent story too.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
It started to go down at Black Ops 2, from what I've heard.
yeah.
That's
So
the last one I played.
it's like the continuation of all these stories have kind of brought people into continuing to play these games because you attune to both those audiences of the multiplayer, the shooter fans, the story aspect of things, and then you kind of keep growing on those. But they've just haven't changed that formula because Activision just sees dollars. It's the same thing with Guitar Hero. It's like Guitar Hero had
Dude, that
they just liked mechanically, and so then they just killed it. Tony Hawk, they liked it mechanically, everyone bought it, and then everyone got sick and tired of it because they didn't change
the
it.
problem with Guitar Hero is it got so oversaturated during that time.
Sure.
Other people wanted to come in, like, and then Rock Band Is the
Well, I mean, the people. It was kind of a respawn situation where everyone like was with Infinity Ward, and then everyone's like, we want to do something different," and Activision's
No.
like, "We're gonna take you to court for it," and then they won, and they were like, "Peace out," and then
Titanfall.
we're gonna make our own thing. We're teaming up with a new studio, and we're gonna make a new studio. But they need a publisher.
What's up, EA?
Exactly. So they went to EA, which is a real slap to the face of Activision.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it's kind of like with those developing teams, you definitely do see like those teams that really did make those hardcore story games have branched out and just done their own thing. They've left and continued doing something different. Or the games that wanted to focus more on multiplayer and more on gameplay have branched off and did their own things. Epic was one of those things. They wanted to continue doing something with. They wanted to do something different and not make Gears of War anymore. So Cliff Bleszinski left, and Microsoft kept Gears of
Coalition.
War. Yeah, and went to Coalition, and then Epic went and did their own thing.
Is that the same thing with Bungie too? Bungie and 3-4?
Well,
343?
yeah.
Or-
Well, Bungie wanted to go and do something different because they didn't want to make Halo anymore. But they were like, "Hey, you're the Halo guys, so we need you to keep making Halo." And they were like, "Well, we don't want to do that." So they left, got signed with Activision,
and then they made
and-
Destiny. That's a disappointment.
and so then they were like, "Well, we want to make. We need someone to make Halo," and so they went to 343. And I've heard they only were gonna make Halo 4, right? And then they just kept
I'm
making
not sure
it.
about that.
Yeah, they were
Because it was well received, maybe.
Yeah, because it
No,
was
they did a
like
good job.
Well
yeah,
said.
they wanted to keep doing it, and so
Made another trilogy, baby.
they wanted to keep going. So the thing is like those games that live on forever. Like my point is the games that attach to being both of them. I honestly don't think. I'm not saying this because I'm a Fortnite hater, but I'm saying this legitimately that I don't think Fortnite will be here 10 years down the road like GTA 5 has.
You don't think it'll be like a Minecraft? Just always.
Yeah, and that's the other thing.
Oh yeah,
but,
dude, Minecraft. Wow.
But
that
Minecraft even has added things to make that like so meta of a story.
Minecraft story mode.
Yeah, exactly. There's Minecraft story mode that make you more involved in it. By the way, that game is not bad.
Never
Minecraft
played
story
game.
mode.
I forgot to
The
say.
Telltale one.
Forgot to say, rip Telltale games.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's a little bit more of the dark side of things, but
Good example of story, and then like
exactly, they
you
don't.
started off with The Walking
But
Dead.
yeah, but that's like a that's like I was saying. That's like a visual novel kind of.
Oh God, I'm so sad that I'll never get to play The Wolf Among Us again. I'm so.
Or another Batman.
Oh my God,
I was
I'm
actually.
so mad about.
Isn't that kind of like I don't want to get too deep into this, but wasn't there kind of shady business deals or?
Yeah, it was higher up shady business deals that were
Oh,
going
boy.
on. So yeah.
Strikes again.
Yeah, that's what happens. Don't do it because you'll get caught. Yeah, so it's like I don't know. Because it's like what are those games that have lasted for so long, and you see that the things that get the sixth installment or the seventh or the whatever installment, those games. I mean, look at even Fortnite. Like when they decided to make Fortnite, it was supposed to be a mock off of Minecraft. Like that was the whole design. It was like we're making a shooter Minecraft game.
They had the Battle Royale later, right?
Yeah, they added a battle royale when PUBG was popular.
So-
So it's like, and then that saved it. And so it's like, the game wasn't designed to even be the way it was. They made a story game, and
And
I
no
mean,
one plays that.
no one plays that. Jameson did for a while. He actually enjoyed it. He actually enjoyed that more than the battle royale. So I don't know. I never played it, so I can't say too much about it. But he really enjoyed it. And I remember for like months he was playing that game. But yeah, when battle royale came out, it just obviously took over Fortnite, and now Fortnite isn't known as that story that was supposed to come out. It's known as the battle royale that was literally a last minute stitch to save this game they've worked 6 years on. So, because I remember reporting on that, or like looking at reports on that, like several E3s ago, and then it just has soared off to being the battle royale.
And sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're good.
But look at Overwatch, a clearly
Sure.
multiplayer game. But what do people want from it?
They want a story,
Exactly.
but they get
And
the meta storyline. They get the cut, like the
When a new
YouTube
character
video.
is released.
Yeah,
Jesus
exactly.
Christ. Well,
I'm
there's-
not really
there-
a fan of that.
There's comics. I think it's
Oh yeah, there is a comic
there's
book series
comics.
now.
There's actually like I like it and I dislike it
Sure.
because for the events I haven't played Overwatch in a while because I kind of
I
dipped
haven't
off.
really
I
either.
don't like what Blizzard's doing with it for the most part. as far as like they keep switching up the meta to keep the esports interesting, which I think is stupid. Honestly, I'm not a like
They spent a lot of money on that. So
I think esports is cool,
yeah.
but you don't focus your game around it, and that's what Blizzard's doing. I feel like with Overwatch.
Well, there's the Overwatch League.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like fine, have it. But do what Smash Bros is doing. Look at Sakurai. Doesn't give two shits about the competitive scene. He just makes a solid game.
Yeah.
But anyway, so like Overwatch, like people want a story from Overwatch. They're kind of getting it, but like and like you're saying, like what stands the test of time when you have both. Look what won the game of the year or something. It was God of War. But look at the games. Like you had God of War. I think Red Dead was like got on there.
Yeah, I mean the nominations. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
like
look at the
God of War, Red Dead, Spider-Man,
Odyssey.
Odyssey was on there.
But Odyssey, I mean, come on, that's just from a fun game standpoint.
Yeah,
That's got a good story in there. Not as good as God of War, but
yeah.
But like, okay, look at the 3 out of the 4.
Big game. It was a big game.
yeah, huge game.
Three of the games,
Sure.
all story.
Yeah. No.
Wait, when you said Odyssey, were you saying Assassin's Creed or Mario?
Oh, Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Okay, I was thinking. See, I go Odyssey. I think immediately Mario.
Oh yeah. No. No.
Nintendo guy, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. No. I think.
The Odyssey came out like 2 years ago. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, because the thing was, is a lot of people kept saying like, because the joke was that single player games are dead, and then literally all of 2018, a pretty big majority of them that were on the top of the list were single player games, and I think it's very, very, very difficult for a game to just have both of those.
Seems to be either or most.
Yeah,
of the
it's
time,
really, and I think that is the whole point of this conversation is it's either or, and if someone figures it out, then they live on forever.
I feel like JRPGs for the most part have that formula. Because like,
Sure.
I mean, I've only played
Which one?
JRPG like Persona 5. Persona 5.
But I mean, like, which one of
Oh.
they focus on one or they focus on
both.
both?
Both.
Oh, both. Okay.
Because Persona, like
Sure.
every character has backstory. There's a reason for them to be in there, and there's an overarching story, which is really good. Plus, you can also deepen your relationship with all your teammates and all that. There are great mechanics of like making new personas stronger. I think is a pretty fun turn-based RPG system.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't like the turn-based RPG. I understand that, but I like it. Like I started playing Octopath.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
like it.
That's definitely a very heavy story.
But I dipped off. What for? Oh, I think I got Smash after. I can't remember. But I dipped off, and now I'm like, Persona.
Yeah. So now you're back into another big.
Oh yeah. And then I look at Octopath. I'm like, man, I should really get back into that. But it, like you're saying, it's such a dense game. I think it's neat how there's 8 characters and they each have their own story, and all that, and the all kind of group of misfits is going around trying to figure out what's going on with them. And I've got too far into it, and I don't really know the story, but like,
It is a pretty heavy game, and
Yeah.
it's definitely something that you gotta like really focus on too, because each character has their own story.
Oh yeah,
so
and
it's like,
yeah,
you gotta
that's
figure
how I
it
feel
all
about
out.
Persona. Like I am, like I'm borrowing it from my friend, and I want to give it back to him, and I'm gonna buy my own copy.
Yeah.
But I'm in that delicate balance of I was just going through it, and then I'm like, I do this every time with like RPGs. Like I need to slow down and actually like do stuff.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, I got all these people, and I'm trying to max out friendship, relationship status, whatever. And what's neat is like the more you interact with them, you get battle bonuses. Like you get bonuses in battle or whatever. Like with the teacher, you get your relationship up with her enough, you could slack off in class. There's a time I just got this last night. You're in the middle of class and you hear on the intercom, and she calls out the other teacher, and you can do stuff like you could build like tools. You can read, which actually reading max it helps with your stats.
Mhm.
And sometimes you need high stats to talk to people. Like I just from Makoto, like, oh, you can't hang out with her if you're this smart. I'm like, wow, thanks for calling me a dum dum.
Yeah, no, I've been in that situation before too when I
But
was
it's
doing Persona.
It's
Persona
nice.
4.
Like every mechanic, like it gives you a reason, and
Sure.
it's all there. It's all compact and
But again, that's why the game has lasted from, I think the first Persona's on PS1. So it's like
yeah.
it is lasted on because of the fact that they're able to capture both those elements of good gameplay and good story. So it's like Yeah, that's why I look at things like Death Stranding is the game that is
Oh,
coming out,
the
and
game
it's
that
like
no one knows anything
yeah,
about,
and
but
it's,
everyone's freaking out. Like, oh my god!
to me, I think like first off, it's getting really overhyped,
Oh yeah,
and I think everyone needs to chill for a while. Um,
impossible.
but the thing is I think that game is going to rely so heavily on story that it's not going to hit that gameplay part, and I think the game is going to come out, everyone's going to love it,
A certain percentage of people.
yeah, and then going to kind of move on from it, and I think that whereas like like God of War that came out this year, that we gave Game of the Year, that Primal Target gave Game of the Year, that the Game Awards gave Game of the Year, that I think IGN even gave it that. So it's like when those two elements meld so well together and so smoothly that you don't feel like you're just being jobbled around, it makes it such a fluid way of like, here's what the developers are going to give you, and you're going to be along for the ride, but you're not going to feel like you're along for the ride. You're going to feel like this is
It's still a game.
this is a game. I don't know. We'll do some last minute thoughts here, starting with Nate over there. What are you feeling about all this stuff? Some last minute things, I guess.
On the
Closing statements, I
stories?
think. Yes.
um,
Of just why stories are a big part. Why you enjoy stories, maybe, or why stories are a big part, or
yeah,
why the combination may be a big deal.
I just go back to what I originally said about it's really the main motivation for continuing to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it's not very interesting for me to play.
Sure. You feel like
Um,
it's a waste of your time?
Yeah. Yep. I know a lot of people would say, "Well, you might just watch a TV show or watch a movie."
Yeah.
But I feel like it's a different enough medium.
Yeah, like I was
It-
saying, it's different forms of media
Right.
that just kind of, with technology, they just kind of blend together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just gives me a reason to play.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, those are really mainly the only games I play are story-driven games. So if I see at E3 that it's like, I see Anthem or something like that, and it looks like it's gonna be
A looter
very-
shooter.
right? I'm like, oh, okay, on to the next one.
Yeah, yeah. What about Borderlands? Do you not like Borderlands?
I have not played that game.
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard it's pretty good though.
It's a looter shooter. It's I would say the grandfather of that. So
But
if you
I
like,
feel like there's more of a story to that. I don't know.
no, there is a story to it.
I probably
mean,
like the
I'm just saying.
Telltale Borderlands maybe more so.
Yeah, you probably would. That one's actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
You probably like that one. And that one's done. The Telltale Borderlands is.
Yeah, I know now with Telltale being out of business, I'm like, do I want to really go back?
Yeah,
and play
go
something
and play the ones that are done.
that's never gonna have a sequel now.
Oh my
Oh my
god!
God, yeah.
Again, like I said, I always kept telling people play Wolf Among Us so they make a sequel to that game, and then now they're like, they'll never make it, and it's just
Well, to
Also,
say
the last
to say
episode,
never might be a stretch.
it's so heartbreaking.
It's depressing, but maybe a company out there, I'm like, hey, you want
Buy
to
the
continue?
IPs.
Yeah, or
I don't know.
Get-
Skybound's making Walking Dead now, right? That's
Finishing it off.
yeah. What's his Kirkman? That's Robert Kirkman's company, right? Skybound's his company.
Not familiar with that one.
Oh, but yeah, Robert Kirkman, the guy who made The Walking Dead.
Oh, okay.
He like has this other company.
And they bought it.
Yeah, and they bought the rights to it, and then they hired all the developers to come over to like some of them to come over and build with his team the rest of the game, so that season could be over.
that's neat.
Yeah, you
This
guys
is
both
the
shook your head
Telltale-
yes at the same time.
I think some of the Telltale employees have formed their own company too. So
Really, I didn't
Oh,
know
maybe.
that.
Yeah, really?
I don't know if they have enough cachet to
Make
get
Wolf
into
Among
IPs.
Us. Make Wolf Among Us.
Go support them on Patreon.
Yeah, right.
Oh God, if I see that they're making a Fables Patreon, because it's based on a comic book series called Fables, and okay, for those that don't know Wolf Among Us, Wolf Among Us is pretty much like, because I'm a Disney fan, so when I found out that there's a game that's based on like fairy tale characters set in this gritty world,
It's a very adult world.
yeah, they all swear. Like Mr. Toad like says he like swears all the time, and oh my God,
So
it's
the complete, almost like the complete opposite of Kingdom Hearts.
yeah, but they're not like they're like
Oh.
they're like the
Generic characters.
Brothers Grimm type of characters.
Oh,
So
okay.
they have the same names, but they don't have some of them. So like Beauty and Beast, that's their names. Their names are Beauty and Beast. Or Snow White, her name is Snow White. And so because the brothers, I don't think Brothers Grimm made Snow White. Maybe they did. But anyway, the fairy tale is named Snow White. But Beauty and Beast is the name of that fairy tale, not Belle and Beast, you know,
Okay.
because Belle
Okay.
is the copyrighted
Oh, yeah.
Disney character. So they kind of loop around that. Mr. Toad. There's a Disney
guess you-
movie of
yeah.
Disney of Mr. Toad,
You-
but Mr. Toad is also a book.
you can't copyright the name Beast.
Yeah. Well, also because they're all the same characters. They're just not their names.
Almost
so.
like they're a parody-esque.
Yeah, but yeah, because it's more based on the actual non-copyrighted fairy tales that
The
exist.
source material.
Yeah, like they have the three little pigs, but like one of the pigs, I can't remember what his name is, but
Doesn't he like live in the apartment?
yeah, he lives in Big B's apartment, who's you, and Big B is the big bad wolf. So he's been a part of different stories. He's been in Little Red Riding Hood. He's been in a couple others so he's been in the Three Little Pigs. So the pig is hanging out at his apartment saying like, you fucking blew my house down, so I get to live with you for a little bit. Like back when they were living in the fairy tale world, and he's like, I guess that's okay, whatever. Like, or you can tell him to hit the curb or whatever. But yeah, so it's pretty awesome. Anyway, that's why I like Wolf Among Us, and it ends on such a fucking cliffhanger. I'm so mad. I'm so mad because the last choice you make is literally seconds away from the end of the game, and then it just ends. Because whatever was going to happen in the next season, and they never
So
did
it must
it.
not have sold very well initially then.
They were eventually going to make a season 2, but then that was like when they were canceling all of those games, they canceled a couple of them, and then they canceled The Wolf Among Us, and then I'm like, oh god.
Trying to
And then they
focus on the big
canceled
IP
it.
ones.
Yeah,
That was the precursor.
exactly. And then you're like, why are they canceling all these games? They're making so much money on these things, right? Then they canceled Batman, and then we're only going to focus on The Walking Dead and finishing it up. And then all of a sudden these allegations came
psych.
out. And you're like, oh my god, what's happening? Anyway, last minute thoughts right there for you, Tyler.
I kind of said Kingdom Hearts, and I was thinking like, God, that's a good example of a game that came out, was really big. I swear to God, I feel like Square has a dartboard when they're making the Kingdom Hearts story, and they just throw random darts.
Sure.
I swear to God, like,
It really is just a game
Jesus
just to have all
Christ.
those Disney characters.
Did you play it,
in
Ryan? The new one?
Not the new one.
Okay.
Oh, well, I
I
mean,
thought it
at
was just a Disney
PAX.
person
I
that
played
you
at
would play.
PAX. I played at PAX. But I did not play the new one because I wanted to play all of them before
Oh,
I
okay.
played that.
oh, good luck.
But yeah, it's pretty hard. But yeah, I played the first one.
You
and
really don't. Okay, here's the thing. The funny thing. Really don't need to play all of them either.
No.
I think
I heard the third one you do need to play at least some of Kingdom Hearts, though.
Well, yeah.
That's what I've been told.
So
You need
my-
to play at least some
my
Kingdom
friend
Hearts.
who's really into it, we're talking, me and my buddies, and they're like, so if I wanted to get into Kingdom Hearts, which games should I play?
All of them.
No.
You need to play all
He's-
of them.
He said, what did he say? He said, Birth by Sleep,
Okay.
1 and 2, or just 2. I can't remember. But you got like Dream, or did he say Dream Drop? I don't know, because Dream Drop is like
It could be
There's
any
so
of
many
them.
DS and Game Boy Advance versions of these stupid games.
Oh, I know. And then like for PS4, it's like the story so far. It's like $100 for all the games just to get them on PS4.
Yeah.
And it's not on Xbox.
I don't know
so you
why
can't
they
catch
didn't.
up if you-
Oh, I
don't
know.
why they
That's kind of
didn't
the
do that.
low key kind of reason about a PS4 is because I wanted to play I wanted to get the story so far.
Yeah. I had a PS3, so I bought that bundle, and then I not returned it. I eventually
many
got rid
fucking
of it,
remakes for
and
them.
then I got this one, and then they announced later that they were doing this whole bundle thing. I'm like, fuck this. Then now I have them all in different. I have all of them on one disc,
And
and
they're
then
kind of
three.
like remastered, right?
Yes,
Dude, they
and
remastered-
also
They remastered them so much.
the one that came out just recently, and then the one that came out before that, like in the bundle sense, contained all of the Nintendo ones, the ones that were on like the 3DS and the two, or just the DS or DS Lite. I don't know, whatever.
There was Dream Drop, Chain of Memories, and
But there's like
think another
4
one.
games, the 369 over. I don't even know
yeah!
what the fuck that is. Like over 2. I don't know.
My friend's like, oh, the title it's a dumb title, but it makes sense because like it's like
It's a dumb title and a dumb game.
I think because like the 2 comes from there's 2 people, like you play as 2 people or something.
Sure.
I don't know, and it takes a span of a year or so. I don't know.
That's the name of the game. It's like an equation.
Yeah, it's
Three-
Kingdom Hearts
365 over 2.
Yeah, or something
yeah.
like that.
We love you, Square, but what the fuck?
Yeah.
Was it?
I'll stick with my Western games.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What I totally derailed.
But why you? These are your last minute thoughts.
So
It's just a ring.
I remember what I was about to say. I agree with both of you on this. Like,
Sure.
because like with you, like we both love movies. We both have we both write.
Yeah.
Me being an author, I really focus on character arcs, and I love to see like if it's an arc, if it's a flat, or if it's a negative. Like like where this character is going in their journey and who gets brought along, who gets yeeted.
Sure.
This character's dumb. Yeet.
Yeah.
Um.
I'd love to see a character fail and then
Ooh.
have to make a
Well,
comeback.
well, yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's the hero's journey.
Mm-hmm.
Or like call to action, see if they do it. That's why I love the anti-hero
Right.
more so much, and even like in the Spider-Man game, Spider-Man's all about him failing, like not just the game, but like just his whole character. He's a high schooler, and what makes him so good is he's more human because you see him fail versus Superman. Yeah, he fails, but he's so boring.
Yeah,
do-
no,
you
that's
could do
I mean,
everything.
that's kind of where Stan Lee was going at. Like
Yeah.
when he was making Thor, he was
Oh
like
yeah,
he looked. Yeah, he was
the
like
flying.
he goes. I never understood why Superman could just like jet propulsion himself off the ground like without even doing anything. So when he designed Thor, he made him have the hammer so that he can wig it around and then launch himself,
Yeah.
and then he can fly.
Physics.
Yeah,
But that's the charm about Spider-Man, is he's humanized.
He's like a regular person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
he's just one of us.
yeah. Oh my god. But
He's just a kid.
but even like
That's me.
even like Batman. People love Batman, and he's relatable, but not as the same extent as Peter Parker.
Sure.
But like Bruce Wayne, he's kind of you call him an anti? No, he's not an anti-hero because he doesn't kill.
No, he's definitely a hero.
Yeah, DC characters aren't relatable, but I feel like they do have good arcs still. They have motivation to
Yeah.
Yeah,
be their personality, I feel like.
they can be.
Yeah.
There are some.
Depends on
But
who's
they are
sadly-
basically
the-
gods.
Yeah.
Depends
Yeah.
on who's at the helm.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with the writer of the story, but yeah, I mean, I guess for wrapping my own up a little bit, I've said it multiple times. It's like you get those combinations of best gameplay and best writing, and you put them together, and you make something great. You get the 10s, you get the 9s, you get the 8s even, and it just will soar off into being its own thing. I definitely think mechanically, maybe sometimes those games do fall a little short, but where
Especially
they
when they're open world.
yeah, but like even relating it back to Halo is like Halo may have a bad story one moment, but they have like Halo 5 more specifically may have a bad story, but mechanically the game is fantastic.
Well, when the first one came out, it was revolutionary.
well, that too. But it's like with the fact that those games can do it is that they can continue being beloved by several people or by millions of people or thousands, whoever buy the units. But it just makes those are why those games can be so good, is where they might fall short on one end, they'll continue making it better on the other. And balancing it is always what those companies are looking for. And you can definitely tell where a lot of indie games have soared off into being fantastic games because they can tell such great stories with their games, whether that be little. Now, I'm not wanting to make it seem like we're talking about they need to be these grand stories, but like
Sometimes simple's best.
but yeah, like for example, like Super Meat Boy. Like Super Meat Boy's whole storyline is literally he's a sack of meat and he's trying to get Bandage Girl, which is his girlfriend, being held hostage by his arch enemy, Dr. Fetus. And that's the whole that's this whole storyline.
Dr. Fetus.
Yeah, but like
Diabetes.
Parody of Mario.
I don't
Diabetes.
but the whole thing about it is like Dr. Fetus is in this like mech thing he controls. Anyway, so but the thing is the story doesn't need to be great, like this long 40-hour experience. The mechanics of that game are definitely leaning more towards the mechanics of it, but the story is you're constantly doing that in every single game, in every single level. And yes, it's more of a Mario situation. Why Mario has continued to be it, because the story wasn't so bad that no one could understand it. It was simple. The princess is gone. You need to go get the princess. Oh, it's not in this one. This is where Toad is, but you released him. Continue on. Go and fight the rest of the Koopas.
That's kind of the same formula Zelda had, and then
Yeah.
Ocarina of Time came out, but it's still a save someone.
Yeah, but then they continue building on it, and sure, Mario's a little bit of a bad example on this because he keeps doing the same thing.
The same story.
But, yeah,
Mamma
but
Mia.
the thing is like that's what the audience is for. It's supposed to be like your baby's first game, is because not I'm saying it's a baby game, but I'm saying it's supposed to be where a young person or someone that's never played games to start enjoying it, understand the simple story, and continue doing it. And that's where like the formula continues to keep going. So that's my last minutes of that, because we've talked for almost 2 hours.
Damn, really?
We could have watched a movie.
We could have watched a movie. That now you know how it feels when we're recording our other stuff. So, anyway, I think you guys did great. I had a feeling this was going to be a good podcast, and I think it was
We
pretty
tried.
damn good. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to watch more, make sure you definitely hit the subscribe button. You want to subscribe to here. If you're listening to audio, yes, there's audio versions of this podcast. You can listen to the full entire edition of this podcast on iTunes and on Podbean for Android listeners and Apple listeners. Obviously, you got just regular podcast app. You can also listen to this on Facebook. It gets uploaded there over on the Facebook page because when you upload to Podbean, it just throws it over there. So you can actually, if you want to, you can go over to Facebook and search Primal Target. We're over there as well. Links in the description below for all of our social media. So if you want to go and follow it, there you go. There's a random video of the past, or actually no. There's just videos at the end of the end card because the other videos have that. Anyway, I know how to edit this video.
You can't even remember your own format.
There's so many damn podcasts that we do and so many videos now that we've been producing. There's a lot of awesome stuff that's going to be coming in the next couple of months this year of 2019. There's a podcast that Tyler's on where we talk about anime on PC 3600. That's coming out really soon. And man, it was really good. If you want to listen to the podcast that Nate was on, which is the movies episode that we did for PT 3600, that episode's really great. Yeah, it's just a lot more. So I'll let you guys be the last people to talk here because I feel like I've talked a lot. We'll plug your whatever you want to say. So starting with Nate, is there anything you want to plug?
No, but I'll be in my room.
Okay. He'll be on the other side of this camera.
I've been out of my room for long enough.
Yeah.
I did not sign up for this.
So if you want to do that, if you want to know where he's at, he'll always
I'm
be
the
there.
sixth man.
Yeah, exactly. So put comment section below, hashtag bring Nate back. Tyler, anything you want to plug?
I'll plug it again. My YouTube, Tkashi Koi. Same thing on Facebook and Twitter, even though I'm not really on there
Sure.
that much. I try to have a presence, but
Yeah, it's kind of like our same thing with
Dude,
Twitter. We're like,
I'm
we
like-
try to have it, but it's hard.
I hate Twitter. Like every time I go on Twitter, I get like pissed off at what I see.
Oh, okay.
Not to get too into it, but like I just look at it like, wow, look at this cesspool,
Yeah.
and then I just dip.
Yeah.
Trolls.
Everyone goes to Instagram
Just,
now. Go to Instagram.
I do have an Instagram
There
too.
you go.
And I'm not present on that either.
Oh man,
Because
it's good.
I
think
go
it's
back
good
and
network.
forth between my own personal one.
So I gotta do Facebook, man.
Yeah, Facebook is good.
Oh yeah.
But so yeah, you have your own YouTube channel. What do you do on your YouTube channel?
I'm just a freaking weeb. I just talk
Okay.
about anime stuff.
Yeah.
Reviews. Like if you like JonTron, PBG, stuff like that. Like it's like my format's kind of like that, just for anime.
Okay. Yeah, go and do the things. We'll see you guys in the next episode of Bitcade. Good night, everybody.